Hey guys, so as you can probably tell, I've switched over to the latest version of Maya, which is what we use in class now. So there's not too much of a difference really. I mean, there'll probably be little intricacies here and there, but all in all, it's pretty much the same. So I'm just going to continue on, and if we hit any roadblocks with the new software, then we'll just deal with it as we go. So this is where we left off. I've just brought the model in here and it came in no problem, so there shouldn't be any issues there. I think what we'll do right now is just wrap up the foot. So I'm just going to put my X-ray on and I'm going to select all these guys, and oh, one sec here. I need to switch my orient. You guys won't have to worry about this. I was doing something else, so I had this switched, but yours will probably be on object, which is what you want. You can see my manipulator here is now pointing straight up and down, which is probably the way that you guys have it. So you guys won't need to worry about that. So what I'm going to do now is just figure out the best way of making this foot. So I'm going to even this out here, and I'm going to turn my X-ray off for now. And what I think, I'm just looking at the geometry here. So what I think we're going to do is take these two edges. I think I'll space that out a little bit better. There we go. So I will take these two edges here and I will extrude those. So I will go edit mesh, extrude, and I'm just going to hit the power ball and I'm going to extrude that out like there. And a little tip is we don't really want this angular, this sort of arrow shape. So if you just use that custom axis here and just scale that in, it kind of flattens that out, and you can use that. I hit W there to get out of the extrude tool, but it flattens it out, and you can do that for a lot of scenarios. It's actually quite handy. Just going to widen this out a little bit, something like that. We can adjust the shape a little bit more. I just want to get everything sort of in the middle there. And I'll do the same thing. I'm going to go extrude down. I mean, there's a lot of different ways of making this foot. We don't have to do it this way. You could make a box. You could start with another box and do it that way. But it's a good little exercise in doing something a little different. And I'm just going to keep on extruding these edges. Whoa, see that? I got a double face. Let's just see. Yeah. Where did that double face originate? Right there. So what I'm going to do is just cut my losses. Oh, there it is. Lots of double faces there. Not sure where that came from, but we should be okay here. So let's just try that again. Edit mesh, extrude. Let's just check and see. No, it's not there anymore. I must have hit undo. You guys probably will catch that in the video. I've got an extrude shelf button here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that shelf button. And I'm going to hit G. I think there's one in the middle. Hit G again. Extrude to around the back. There we go. And Notice how I did 2 extrudes there, and that's just to line these faces up, just so when we go and connect everything together, everything's going to connect up seamlessly. So mesh tools, let's just append these. So I'm going to click there, hit enter, hit G for the same tool again, click there, hit enter, and we could just append all these. You could use the bridge tool if you want. I'm just hitting G, enter. When it goes pink, you just hit enter. Whoops. See, that one went over there. I still got to hit enter to get out, and then it'll let me go back by hitting undo. I'm going to hit G, enter. And our foot isn't really looking that good, but the structure is the way we want. So now we can go back to our move tool and just start bashing this back into something more of a realistic shape, or at least a shape that we're looking for. So there we go. Probably want to bring that out a little bit. Just make it less blocky, I guess, would be what we're after. And probably bring that down. You know what? We might even want another division here. So I'm going to go to my... Oh, so I just hit the shelf tool, but I'm going to actually hit the insert edge loop up here. And I'm just going to put another loop right there. Now we can add a little bit more detail to our foot. Something like that. And make it, you know, looks kind of like a brick right now. So we want to change that. Make it less brick-like, sort of smooth everything out here. That's pretty good. You could even go ahead and add another loop like right here. There we go. It's not too bad. Probably narrowed out a little bit. Foot gets a little bit narrower at the end. Yeah. That works. Let's just see how it smooths down. Not too bad. Look at that in the front view. Fairly close. We can adjust it though. But I think I'll move on to the arm. So let's take a look and see what we got to do here. So I just need to sort of extrude that out and cap it off basically, and then we'll extrude a thumb out of the finished arm. So these view planes are kind of annoying me right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn those off. And I am going to go and start getting this arm together. So I'm going to use my shelf tool again. You guys should probably get used to the shelf tool. Hit the power ball. Let's bring out that arm. And I can even rotate that a little bit. Scale it down. Probably scale it that way a little bit. Hit W to get out of the extrude tool. And maybe I'll bring my view planes back just to see if we're on course. Yeah, not too bad. I think I'll bring it right down. Something like that. And then I'll just sort of maybe add a loop or two. Okay, so let's start capping this off. I wonder if I could bridge that. Let's just try this. Oh yeah, see, that's not the geometry we want. It worked, but not really that well. So I'm just going to use append to polygon. And just, how do I want to do this? Maybe like that. I'm hitting G. Like that. Like that. Just to cap it off, right? You might want to go the other way, but at this point I don't really care. So I'm gonna go and add a loop around here. Just gonna scale that down. Looks kind of weird. Yeah, I don't really like that. It's not looking right. So what I think I'll do is, because I think we need some more divisions here. So I'm going to select these guys, and I'm going to create myself some more loops here. So I'm going to hit extrude. I'm going to click one of these, could be any one of these scale manipulators, the cubes, and then this blue one in the middle shows up, and then I can just drag that in. Hit W to get out of that awful extrude tool. And we'll just sort of even that out. Probably scale that down a little bit. Bring my view planes back. We've gone off course a little. This looks kind of weird. That's okay. Looks very weird. Let's try rerouting our let's try going the other way here. Let's try going like this. And then bringing these guys back. It's kind of more like a flipper than a hand, really. Bring those back. And check that out from the front. There, I'm just gonna get this loop right on the edge, sort of where the hand starts. And I think we'll reroute that. Let's turn the X-ray on so we can kind of see through there. Probably can't see it very well in the screencast, but insert edge loop. I'm going to put another loop like right here, and then the thumb can sort of live right there. And make a little bump for the top of the hand, and we'll smooth that up. I think this still has to be a fair bit smaller. There we go. Very weird teddy bear anatomy. Alright, let's go back, turn our X-ray off. Sort of round this out a little bit here. And yeah, I'm just sort of moving stuff around, getting it a little bit smoother. This might be a little bit wider. It's more like a flipper, right? So sort of skinny and then wider. Okay, so we'll call that good for now. I mean, we're not going for, we can always adjust things later on. Just trying to go for the basic shape here. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so there's our arm locked in. We'll worry about the thumb later, because the thumb, believe it or not, is actually kind of tricky. Thumbs are always a little bit tricky. So let's just delete our history. And we'll start focusing on the head. So with the head, instead of sort of doing this extrusion thing and sort of like making multiple extrusions and connecting them together, with the head I think it actually makes more sense to start with a primitive shape. So I'm going to go polygon cube, and let's go to our front view, and I'm going to sort of get it into the rough shape we're looking for. I'm going to keep it a little bit above the neck, and then I think I'll start, instead of using my shelf tool, I'll go here. I'm going to start adding in some loops. Here, I'll add one there, add one there. Let's look around on the right side, and then I'll add one there. And then I'm going to adjust this here too. I'll turn on my X-ray so I can see through it a little bit. Just going to make that a little bit bigger. That way. Okay, so Mr. Cube Head here. Now we got to start sort of adjusting the shape. So now we could probably turn symmetry back on. So the tool settings are in the same spot. They're up here, but for some reason the panel likes to float instead of dock. So let's turn symmetry on. I'm going to go Object X. That seems to work. World should work too, but I'll keep it on Object. And I'm just going to start roughing this out here, adding in loops where we need it. So I think it looks like, well, let's go do the side view first before we start adding loops in here. Yeah. Okay, so what we really got to be worried about is this snout area, because we're going to add that snout on kind of like we would like with the arms and that. So it's sort of like one of those extrusions that go into the middle. I think that's probably the best way to do this. And I'm just going to bring these in from the front view. Let's move to our perspective view. And just sort of move those in. Back of the head's looking pretty blocky still. That's okay. Something like that. Turn the X-ray back on. So it's already starting to take a little bit more form. And I think what I'm going to do right now is stop the video, and then I'll start it up again and we'll continue on.